Good morning, everybody, or good late evening for those who are in Bharat. Welcome to our Indic seminar session. Today, we have Akshay Jog with us today. He has been a student of Savarkar's works for over a decade now, and is also a fellow at the Savarkar Research at the British Library in London. He is an author of several books, although an engineer, but he also likes to study social studies. So, and today's topic, given the new release of the movie, Savarkar, Savarkar's works and his personality has come into limelight, and Akshay Jog will elaborate on what Savarkar is all about. Over to you, Akshay.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead, start.
Hello, good morning and good evening to all of you from India and outside India. Today's topic is Veer Savarkar's Hindutva. Topic on the background of the release of the Hindi movie of the Indic. I think it is also released worldwide also. I think you should go and watch the movie. It's a very nice movie and first Bollywood commercial movie after the Sudhir Phadke's movie which was released in 2001. So we will come back to our topic. Veer Savarkar's Hindutva. Veer Savarkar wrote Hindutva book in 1923. So the last year, 2023, was the centenary year of Hindutva book. Before going detail into the Veer Savarkar's Hindutva, I think we need to understand the situation which necessitated Savarkar to write this Hindutva book, because without knowing the background of the situation before 1923, you not able to understand the reason and the importance of the Veer Savarkar's Hindutva. So the background is when the Indian National Congress was formed in 1885. It was formed as a political party, and any political party anywhere in the world accepted directly or indirectly some philosophy, some ideology. So Indian National Congress indirectly accepted the ideology known as a Hindi nationalism, which was propounded by the great Justice Mahadev Govinda Ranade, Nyayamurthy Ranade. What is Hindi nationalism? Hindi nationalism, in simple term, you can call it as a at that time undivided India, Akhanda Bharat at that time in 1885, from Indus line to Indus seas to Indus river, Akhanda Bharat. The person who is living in Akhanda Bharat, who is the resident or citizen of that Akhanda Bharat, is considered as a Hindi, irrespective of his religion, dharma, caste, sect, creed, race, etc., etc., and who want to fight for the independence of that Akhanda Bharat. This is the main goal or motive of that Hindi nationalism or Hindi unity, or you can say Hindi Sanghatan. So this is a simple definition of the Hindi nationalism. It is a you can say territorial nationalism. The territory, like Akhanda Bharat territory, the person who is the resident or citizen of at Akhanda Bharat is Hindi. So the basic, or you can say a fundamental requirement of this Hindi nationalism was that you should keep your regional dharmic, your caste, race, any philosophical personal, your identity at your home, or your maybe your social ceremony. When you go into the while entering into the social or political life, you should be act as a only Hindi and all citizen of that British colonial period of India. So it is a fundamental basic principle. You should keep your dharmic religious identity at your home or your social gathering, and while entering into the socially in social life or in political life, you should act as only as a Hindi. It is a Hindi nationalism. It is a very good philosophy, very good ideology, and that's why it was supported by the great Lokmanya Tilak, Surendranath Banerjee, Dadabhai Nauroji, Lal Bal Pal, Bipin Chandra Pal also, Lala Lajpat Rai also, uh, Mahatma Gandhi, and even Swatantra Veer Savarkar also. Because there is nothing wrong and nothing any injustice to anybody in his philosophy. So it is a very widely accepted philosophy. So Hindus immediately accepted that philosophy. They keep their dharmic religious identity at their home or their social personal relatives gathering, and they enter into while entering into the social and political life, they act as a Hindi. Justice Ranade, Lokmanya Tilak, all even Swatantra Veer Savarkar said that we are a Hindi and we will fight for our independence. But the problem starts when one wing from the Muslim community, known as a Aligarh Muslim University School of Thought, and founder of that Aligarh Muslim University was Sayyid Ahmad. Syed Hamas, from the foundation of Indian National Congress, he opposed Indian National Congress and their philosophy of Hindi nationalism, and he openly said that Hindus and Muslim are two separate nations; they could not live together. And when we achieve the independence, we should get the 50% rights, or it is known as a parity philosophy. Parity means uh, Muslims will get 50% political representation, and other 50% other non-Muslims can divide among themselves. So this is known as a parity philosophy in political representation. After some time, uh, Aga Khan and some people founded Muslim League. They had demanded that during that Montagu Chelmsford Reformation movement and the periodic reformation, political reformation. So they said that we ruled this India around 1,700 to 1,000 years. So we have a upper hand when India will become independent. So will we, even though we are in minority, our numerical strength may be very less compared to Hindus, but as we have ruled over India for around 1,000 years, so we should get upper hand. We should get 50% of political representation when India will get independent, or when British will apply their political reformation in councils or their state level political, or you can say in today's term Vidhan Sabha or Sansad. So at that time there were provincial councils. So in provincial councils also we will have 50% of you can say political representation of 50 or 50% MLAs from Muslim community. So the basic principle is that if you consider India's Sansad and they have 500 seats, MLAs or MPs in 500 in Sansad. So out of 500, 250 should be from the Muslim community, 50%. And other 250, they can divide among themselves, maybe Hindus, Christian, Anglo-Indians, Parsis, Jews, etc., etc. At that time, around 1885 or before India's independence, so from 1885 to 1947, if you consider this that period, so at that time Muslim population was around 20 to 25% approximately. So 25% Muslims were demanding double, means 50% political representation. And at that time, Congress was saying that it is not possible to give 50% political representation but okay, we will give you around 33 or 35% political representation. And accordingly, Congress did Lucknow Pact, Lucknow Karar in 1916. So as per the Lucknow Pact, Muslims Muslims were got around 33% of political representation in Kolkata province, Bengal province, and Punjab province. And so the thing is that Congress Congress were ready to give political representation beyond their actual population, or you can say numerical strength. So even though Congress are not ready to give 50%, but they were ready to give more than that, or more than their population strength. So the third angle was Swatantra Veer Savarkar. Savarkar was saying that we are ready to give you political representation as per your population strength. If you are in your population is around 25%, we are okay to give you 25% political representation. And even though Gopal Ganesh Agarkar, a great thinker and intellectual, he also said that we are ready to give you political representation as per your population strength, but we could not give you beyond your population. So the same view is supported by the Gopal Krishna Gokhale also. Gopal Krishna Gokhale was considered as a political guru of Mahatma Gandhi, and he was a pacifist. Jahal, Mahabad, Naram Garam Dal. So Lokmanya Tilak was considered as an extremist, and pacifist was considered as a Gopal Krishna Gokhale's wing. So Gopal Krishna Gokhale was also saying that it is not true. It was said by the Gopal Krishna Gokhale, the political guru of Mahatma Gandhi. He said that it is not true that Muslims were ruled over India around 1,000 years. It is completely incorrect, historically incorrect. British were taken this Bharat from the Marathas, from the Peshwas. From Maratha, we have Maratha kingdom to around 75% of India at that time, excluding some part of India. So British has taken over this Bharat from the Maratha warriors, not from Mughals. Mughals were restricted to around Delhi and in south around for Nizam. So Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Gopal Ganesh Agarkar said that it is completely untrue. Your basic philosophy is completely untrue. That you could not get an upper hand while we will become independent, but you will get equal rights according to Hindus or all Hindi citizens. But Gopal Krishna Gokhale to negotiate with the Muslim leagues, to have some unity, to have some alliance with the Muslim leagues. He said that, okay, to compromise at a certain level, we will ready to give you separate electorate, Swatantra Matadar Sangha for Muslims. And he supported that theme because initially Muslim League was demanded that we are Muslims, we need a separate electorate, and so the Muslims will vote only for a Muslim MLA, Muslim MP, and other people will vote for their respective representative. So Gopal Krishna Gokhale supported this thought, and after same time, unfortunately, he died. Gopal Ganesh Agarkar was also died in 1910-1920 decade. Lokmanya Tilak died in 1920, and around his time, means in 1910, Savarkar was sentenced to life imprisonment and deported to Andaman's Kalapani. So from 1910 to 1921, Savarkar was in Andaman's cellular jail. Then he transferred from cellular jail to Kolkata's Alipur jail. So he was in Alipur jail for around 5 to 6 months. Then he was shifted to Ratnagiri jail, and in Ratnagiri jail he was around 2 years. And the same Ratnagiri jail, he has written the book named as his seminal work, book Hindutva. So he smuggled his this book and sent to his brother, his cousin brother Vishwanath Kelkar, was staying in Nagpur. And so at the same time, he was a close associate. So the Vishwanath Kelkar was a Kelkar's close associate. Dr. Keshav Bairam Hedgewar. He also read Savarkar book before the publication, and after publication, it was published by the Vishwanath Kelkar with the pseudonym Maratha, because at that time Savarkar was in a jail. He was not allowed to open his identity. So Dr. Hedegewar uh, made some good marketing in his own newspaper. I think newspaper name is Adesh or Sadesh. I think I forgot the newspaper name. So he was running his own newspaper, Dr. Hedgewar, and he completely freely marketed Savarkar's Hindutva book, Savarkar's other famous book in his own newspaper, and he was highly impressed with the Savarkar's philosophy of Hindutva. Then he met Savarkar in Ratnagiri when he was Savarkar was in Ratnagiri for 2 years. Then he transferred to Pune's Yerawada jail. He was there around 7 to 8 months, and in 1924 he was conditionally released. And the conditions was you could not go uh, go out of the Ratnagiri district without the permission of the Britishers. So you can consider as it is a district arrest. It is not a house arrest. It's a district arrest, or you can call it as a internment. So Savarkar kept in internment in Ratnagiri, and other condition was he was not allowed to take part directly or indirectly in politics. So Savarkar was in Ratnagiri in internment for around 13 years, from 1924 to 1937. In 1937, Savarkar was completely released, and he was allowed to participate or take part into any politics. So he joined Hindu Mahasabha. Hindu Mahasabha previously was not a political party. It is a cultural, socio-cultural party for Hindus who were looking after the socio-cultural problems of the Hindus, and it was you can say uh, working under the Indian National Congress. So the lots of Indian National Congress president was also the president of the Hindu Mahasabha. One great example was the Madan Mohan Malviya. Madan Mohan Malviya was president of the Indian National Congress also, and president of the Hindu Mahasabha also. Even the Mahatma Gandhi's name was found on executive body of the Hindu Mahasabha. So before 1937, it was only a socio-cultural party, a socio-cultural institute. Savarkar converted it into the political party in 1937, and he was elected as a president of the Hindu Mahasabha consecutively for around 6 times. And seven times also he was elected as a president, but due to the health issues, he was resigned, and Shama Prasad Mukherjee now he taken over as a president. So when Savarkar was internment in Ratnagiri, so before the foundation of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha, Dr. Hedgewar met Savarkar Savarkar in Ratnagiri. At that time, Savarkar was staying in the house of the Damle. So at that room, Savarkar met Dr. Hedgewar. And after the few months, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha was founded. Damle were Damles they are still staying in Ratnagiri, and they kept Savarkar's room as a historical room, and they are welcome all the Savarkarite to have the glimpses or a darshan of their room. So back to our Hindutva topic. So at that time, Savarkar was saying that Muslims, we can give the equal rights to Muslims. Muslims. We can even to have some compromise, to have some negotiation. We are ready to give you the political representation as per your population strength, but we could not give even a 1% extra 1% beyond your population. So when Savarkar was saying that, when I am talking about that the Hindus should unite to fight against this injustice, or you can say it was a political injustice, because when you are giving some extra political representation beyond the population to any community, it was indirectly affected the majority community Hindus. So if you give 35% or 33% to the 25% Muslim population, so the Hindus population at that time was around 78 to 80%. So indirectly, it will affected majority Hindus. So Savarkar was saying that Hindus should aware, politically aware, and they should unite together. So they should have Hindu Sanghatan. But while I am saying that Hindu Sanghatan, Hindutva, Hindu Rashtra, but initially I need to define who is Hindu. The problem is that there is no worldwide or widely accepted definition of Hindutva. Like you have or universally accepted definition of who is Muslim, who is Christian, who is Jew, who is Parsi. It is universally accepted definition. Even their opponents, their followers, both were accepted it. This is a definition of Muslim, this is a definition of Christianity, Judaism, or Parsiism. But there is no single definition exists before 1923 that who is Hindu. Even at that time, famous publication, Natesan publication, has published one book in 1920 decade. The book name is Who is Hindu, or Definition of the Hindus. In that book, there were around 105 definitions of the Hindus. Lokmanya Tilak, definition of the Lokmanya Tilak, definition of the different sun, different institution, dharmic institution. So this they have compiled around 105 definition of who is Hindu, but none of the definition was universally accepted. So Savarkar said that I need to first define who is Hindu, and I need to define who is political Hindu, who is socio-political Hindu. So therefore, Savarkar has put forth his definition of Hindutva. It is a Sanskrit definition. Definition is A Sindhu Sindhu Paryanta Yasya Bharata Bhumika Pitrubhu Punyabhu Shaiva Savai Hindu Riti Smrutaha. It is a Sanskrit definition, and this meaning of definition is the person who is living in this Indus river to Indus seas, this undivided India, Akhanda Bharat, Akhanda Hindustan, and who consider this land as their fatherland or ancestors land, and at the same time holy land. Fatherland, ancestors lands means Pitrubhu, Pitru Bhumi, and the holy lands means Pavitra Bhumi or Punya Bhumi. So what is ancestor land? What is fatherland? Or you can say what is holy land? Savarkar defined that fatherland is not a meaning of that. Pita ki bhumi, not a vadlanchi bhumi. It is the land of his ancestors. Pitru bhumi means not a pita. Pitru means pitar, his ancestors' land. The person who consider this land, whose land is ancestors' land, and at the same time, the person has this Indus land or Khanda Bharat, Khanda Hindustan's land as his holy land, Pavitra Bhumi. Pavitra Bhumi, Punya Bhumi, holy land means the prophet or a founder of any religion, dharma, sect, or any philosophy. That prophet born in any particular land, or that philosophy, ideology was propounded, or maybe he propagated his this ideology in particular land, so that that land was their followers of that land have some special or some specific affiliation with this land. They consider this land as their as a pavitra bhumi, as a holy land. So this is a definition of the pavitra land, pavitra bhumi, punya bhumi, or you can say a holy land. And some opponents are saying that German Nazi also had definition of fatherland. So Savarkar has taken this fatherland concept from the Nazism. So Savarkar was a Nazi, as a Hitler was a anti-Jewish. The same Savarkar was a anti-Muslim. This completely incorrect and false allegations. First of all, Savarkar was not an anti-Muslim, and Savarkar had not taken any this philosophy from Hitler, because Hitler Nazism's rise was around in 1930 to 40 decade, and Savarkar put forth this philosophy in 1923. And before that, Savarkar was in jail, so he don't have any kind of knowledge of Nazism, who is Hitler. And at the time, Hitler was also not came into the center stage of the Germany. And the German fatherland concept was like fatherland means pita's land. And the Savarkar's definition was not of pita's or father's land. It was actually the term as a ancestors land. If any NRI was like you all are just staying in US, Europe, UK, outside India, so your third generation fatherland, if you consider fatherland as a fatherland, so your third generation fatherland would not be will not be Bharat. It will be UK, US, Europe. So it's outside India. So Savarkar applied this fatherland concept. Then third generation will be excluded from the Savarkar's Hindutva. But Savarkar was saying that it is not a fatherland, it is an ancestors land. So even your third generation or 30, 40th generation may be born in outside India, in anywhere in on earth, maybe Africa, Europe, UK, US, but your original ancestors, your kul is from India. Your ancestors are from India. So irrespective of your generation, as long as your ancestors are from India, you are included in the Veer Savarkar's definition of Hindu. So the famous example, and the other main allegation against Savarkar was that that Savarkar, the who is considered who are included in this definition of Hindutva. Vedic Hindus included in Savarkar's definition, Sikhs, Jain, Buddhist, Navabuddha, Arya Samaji, Prarthana Samaji, Brahmo Samaji, Lingayat, Veera Shaiva Lingayat. These all are considered, as per the Savarkars, are considered as a Hindus. So they are all included in the definition of the Hindutva. So who are excluded? Obviously, Muslims, Christians, Jews, and Parsis. So opponents are saying that Savarkar want to exclude the Muslims, want to exclude the Christians. So that's why he had put forth the term Holy Land, because all the Indian Muslims and Indian Christians, their ancestor lands is India, because they were converted from 2-4 generations before during the Mughal regime. But their ancestors were India. So the Indian Muslim ancestors were India, but their holy land is not India. Now their holy land is Makkah, Medina. Christians have Vatican City or Rome. Parsis, Iran. Jews, holy land is Jerusalem, Israel. So their holy land very different, outside India. So opponents are saying that Savarkar want to exclude the Muslims and Christians, so that's why he included the term Holy Land. So this is again this is a false allegation. Savarkar don't want to exclude anyone. They are by default excluded from this definition. And even the Muslims, Christians, Jews, Parsis, they are not saying that we are Hindus. They are saying that we are Muslims. They are saying that we are Christians. So again, the opponents were saying that so Savarkar was want to exclude the Savarkar want to say that Muslims, Christians are not the Indian patriots. So the Hindutva, who are considered in the definition of Hindutva, are they are the only Hindus who are considered as a patriots, and all other non-Hindus are considered as a non-patriots, not Deshabhakta. Or they are saying that they Savarkar want to uh, give them the second level citizenship right, and their priority, or they want to give the special privileges to the Hindus, and they want to give the second, third, or fourth level citizenship right to the minorities like Muslims and Christians. So Savarkar are giving the citizenship certificate to the all everyone, and they don't want to consider Muslims and Christians as a citizen of India. This is a complete false allegation. Swatantraveer Savarkar's Hindutva is a definition of who is Hindu only. This is not a definition of who is Indian patriot or who is Indian citizen. This is not a definition of who is Indian citizen or Indian patriot. The person who is staying in India, he is Indian citizen. He or she is a Indian patriot, but he is not only a Hindu. I will give you the two examples. First example is APJ Abdul Kalam, our missile man, our great president, Bharat Ratna APJ Abdul Kalam. As per Savarkar definition, he was not Hindu, but Savarkar, as per Savarkar, APJ Abdul Kalam was a great Indian patriot. APJ Abdul Kalam was an Indian citizen also. But only Savarkar want to say is that he is not a Hindu only. He is Muslim. Second example, Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak, ancestor lines is India. His holy land is India. So as per the Savarkar definition and criteria of the Savarkar secure definition, he is considered as a Hindu. And he himself proudly saying that, yes, I am a Hindu. I am a Dharmic Hindu. Okay. But Rishi Sunak was not an Indian patriot. He is not an Indian citizen. Rishi Sunak is a UK citizen and UK patriot, but he is Hindu. So, first thing I have to clear is that this is not a definition of Indian patriot or Indian citizen. It's a definition of who is Hindu only. Savarkar want to define the definition who is universally accepted. It is maximum inclusive. Of course, any social definition and specifically you can say regarding the Hindu dharma or any Hindu people, they do have some exceptions. They do have some flaws or errors, but they are very minor. Widely accepted definition of Hindutva is Savarkar's Hindutva, and even it is accepted in Indian Constitution also. Hindu Code Bill is applicable only to the people who are considered as a Hindu as per the definition of Hindutva. Hindu Code Bill is applicable to the Vedic Hindu, Jain, Sikhs, Buddha, Navabuddha, Arya Samaji, Prathan Samaji, Brahmo Samaji, Lingayat, Veer Savarkar, and it is not applicable to the Muslim, Christian, Jews, and Parsis. They have their special code bill. So, in Indian Constitution, there is no any kind of mention of Savarkar Hindutva definition, but indirectly they have okay, or you can say indirectly they are saying the same thing, which is Savarkar is saying from the positive angle, you can say. So Savarkar Hindutva is not against constitution, not against any kind of law. It is only, you can say, he put forth definition of Hindutva positively. So we will again move forward. So what is the need of to define the Hindutva? As I said, after the foundation of the Congress and foundation of the Muslim League, they demanded the extra political representation beyond their political strength. And Savarkar saying that as per the democratic universal accepted principle, or you can say right now, as per the today's relevance, as per the United Nations defined democratic principle are considered as a you can give the or you have to give the uh, political representation to any community, any dharmic, religious, based on any caste or any minority, you can say. As per their population, you can give their political representation. This is a democratic principle and is accepted by the accepted universally. So same is Savarkar was saying that at that time, we are ready to give you the uh, political representation as per your political population, but they were demanding some extra, and Congress were ready to give extra. They were not ready with 50%, but they are ready or okay with the 33%, 35%, or maybe they can give 40% also. And at the same time, they are okay to give Muslims a veto power. Veto power means if any law any law in parliament set for any voting. So if the one third of the population of the Muslims are okay with it, then you can pass that law. And if the numbers go below the one third population, then Indian Parliament are could not pass that law. So indirectly, they are giving the veto power to the Muslims that which law they have to pass or which law they have to oppose. So Savarkar was against this veto power also. They are saying that we should not give the veto power to any particular community as long as we are saying that India should be a republic and democratic nation. So any community should not have any special privileges as per population or based on any condition. Savarkar is saying that we are Hindu in majority. We are not demanding any kind of special privilege as we are in majority. So the same we are applicable to minority also. Because you are in minority, we are not ready to give you any special privilege, but we are ready to give you the rights, same equal rights to you, which were demanding by Hindus, demanded by the Hindus. So the Hindus, Christian, Jew, Parsis, any Indian citizen should have the equal rights, and anyone should not be discriminated based on population strength, caste, creed, race, dharma, religion, gender. There should not be any gender bias or any caste bias or dharmic bias. When a person enter into the parliament, he should consider himself as a Bharatiya or Indian citizen, and and as a representative of the whole nation, and she should act or he should work for the development of the nation. You should not consider as I am a representative of the Muslim community, I'm a representative of the Hindu community. This is not a good good for any democratic republic nation. So for the this is the main problem exists at that time was that Hindus were not aware of their political rights. They are completely ignorant and they are completely unaware of their political rights. And so that's why Savarkar said that you do not know the power of the political power. What is the you can say what is the difference between the nation and state? The thing is that the Hindu philosophy, Hindu dharma, or don't have any political angle in their Hindu dharma. From ancient times, we have our regime, our princes were Rajasatta were different, Dharmasatta were different. So they are already separated. But in Semitic religion, Dharmasatta, Rajasatta should be in one hand, and that's why they have bloodshed or blood wars at that time in Europe, which is known as a uh, born of the birth of the secularism. The reason behind the war of the secularism are two roots of the secularism is that the princes of the UK and Europe, some regime kingdom wants to have Rajyasatta in their own hand. So the Dharmasatta, or you can say the missionaries, fathers, Mullah Maulavi, so they are saying that no, the Rajyasatta, Dharmasatta should be in our hand. So that's why in Europe, in specifically in Christianity, they have wars, and so the at that time, Rajyasatta go into the hands of the princess kingdom, and the Rajyasatta, Dharmasatta keep with the Vatican City and Rome, and this is the reason of the birth of the new philosophy, secularism. But in Hindu Dharma, you don't, you could not find any kind of such kind of wars to separate Dharma Satta and Rajya Satta, because it was already separated in Hindu Dharma. So, due to this, our basic roots, or you can say fundamental difference between the Hindu Dharma and Semitic Dharma. Semitic, the religious followers are aware of their political rights. They have, they do not have any separation of the nation and state. But in Hindu Dharma, we have already separation of the nation and state. Nation means in Hindus, maybe they live in Europe, UK, or etc., whatever country outside India, maybe in anywhere, but they unite as a Hindu. At the same time, Muslim unite as a Muslims, Christian unite as a Christians. So they form as a nation, like a Jewish people. They do not have Israel till 1948, but before that they were scattered over Europe, US, in India. But after the formation of the Israel, they come together and form the nation. But when they were in India, when they were in US or in Europe, they live as they kept their Jewish nation in their heart, and they fight for it, and they established their nation in 1948, Israel. So this is called as a nation. Nation is eternal, and the state is not eternal; it is temporary. State may change. State means you can say a Rajya Satta. In India, we had different states. Previously, we have our own state, Vedic Rishis, and our you can say first famous all over India state. You can say Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya. So the Maurya dynasty. Then we have Vijayanagar Samrajya. Before that, we have Mughal regime. Mughal have their state in their hand. After some time, Vijayanagar, then Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, Maratha kingdom, Maratha Samrajya. So state where changes periodically after some decade or maybe some centuries. So this is known as a state, or you can say Rajya Satta. So Hindu people were uh, were not, or still it's same they have some relevance in today also. Hindus are completely unaware or ignorant of their political rights, and Savarkar wants to highlight that no, you should be aware, you aware of your political rights, and so that's why to aware the Hindu, you aware the Hindu politically, I need to define, I need to highlight this political Hindutva. So Savarkar Hindutva is a political Hindutva. And he wrote this book because he is saying that you have aggression from the non-Hindus. There may be a Christian, Muslim, or even Hindus also. So the famous dialogue is Savarkar. I do not fear. I do not have any kind of fear above to Muslims, Christians, but I am afraid. I am afraid of the Hindus, because Hindus are against Hindutva. So the lots of opponents of the Hindutva are Hindus, and still it is relevant. At that time, Indian National Congress, so the international majority people of the Indian National Congress are Hindus, and they are opposing the Savarkar's philosophy of Hindutva. So Savarkar was saying that as long as you are oppressed with your due to your Hindu identity, we should have Hindu Sanghatan, we should have Hindu. When they no one will oppress you, no one will do injustice to you uh, for your Hindu identity, then there is no need of Hindutva. So Savarkar philosophy of Hindutva is a temporarily and reactionary. Savarkar of Hindutva. So there is a different version of Hindutva. Swami Vivekananda Hindutva is different. Arvindo Ghosh Hindutva, Yogi Arvinda's Hindutva is different. Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh's Hindutva and Savarkar Hindutva, I could not say it is a different, but they have lots of similarities. Only difference is Savarkar Hindutva is political and Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh's Hindutva is cultural. That is the only minor difference you can say. But Dr. Hedegawa was highly impressed with the Savarkar's socio-political Hindutva. So the thing is that Savarkar is saying that my Hindutva will exist as long as Hindus were oppressed due to their Hindu identity. So Savarkar's Hindutva is temporary policy, but his idealistic policy, his Adarshavadi Dhoran was humanity, Manavta. To achieve the humanity, you need to follow some steps. So the first step is nationalism. I will quote one Savarkar's famous letter, which he wrote to his British friend Guy Aldred. Guy Aldred was a strong supporter of the India's independence, and he was jailed for 1 year due to his participation in India's freedom struggle. And they have Savarkar Guy Aldred were in touch. They have correspondence till 1950. He was an editor of the famous paper, The Word Quarterly. So Savarkar said in one of his letters that my recent articles and speeches, you may feel that I have become a narrow nationalist. Although I believe that evolution of Hindu race should go through the path of nationalism and federation. The ultimate aim of mankind should be humanity only and not nationalism. The ultimate goal of all political arts and sciences should be the human state. The earth is our mother and mankind is our nation. Since you have the same thinking, I think we are brothers. Means we are human brothers, Manav Bandhu. Nevertheless, in this short letter, all I have to say is that at present, in the chronology of history, I have to devote all my strength for the cause of Hindu unity and Hindu nationalism. This is the one of the steps of the formation of the human state. This means that the India's independence, Savarkar visions behind the Hindutva, Hindu unity and Hindu Rashtra was purely universal brotherhood and humanity. He adopted Hindutva as his temporary policy, but his idealistic policy was humanity. And again, I will quote one of the Savarkar's famous uh, sentence in his speech of the 1950. Savarkar was saying that in 1950 speech, we believe in universal state, embracing all mankind. All divisions and distinctions are artificial, though indispensable. So Savarkar was one of the said in non-discriminatory humanist thinker. The question arises as the why he supported the concept of Hindutva. So again, from one of the speeches in 1953, Savarkar was saying that the idea of that all human beings are one is very noble. When You have Manavta in on universal. The idea of this Manavta, universal brotherhood, humanity or brotherhood, is very noble idea. I like it too. No one should lock his door due to this universal brotherhood. This is a ideal rule. However, thieves do exist. Hence, we keep aside the rule of not locking the door. Likewise, as long as the expansionist policy of other religions and nations exist, I have to protect my identity as a Hindu and as an Indian. My nation needs to be protected with the law of Hindutva. That is, even though Savarkar considered humanity as an ideal concept and goal, he knows the reality. Savarkar was a practical, action-oriented thinker. He was not a armchair thinker who was sitting in any AC room and they don't have any ground level reality. So Savarkar not was a such kind of armchair thinker. He was a action oriented ground level worker kind of thinker. So even though Savarkar was a great poet, but as a politician, he was a practical, utilitarian, and visionary thinker. So Savarkar Hindutva, Savarkar in his one of the famous letters, Savarkar is saying that as long as Muslims keep their Islamatva, Christians keep their Christianatva, we Hindus will keep our Hindutva also. When all other people, Muslims and Christians, give up their Tvatva, Muslimatva and Christianatva, then Hindus also were ready to give up their Tva. But you are keep your Tvatva, your identity with you, and you are only dictating or telling Hindus to give up your Tva and merge into the humanity. So this is not acceptable. Savarkar's letter was famous. I was quoted in my book. My book name is Veer Savarkar's Allegations and Reality. I have explained this concept of Hindutva and Savarkar's humanity in two separate chapters. So, so the thing is that what is the importance of the Savarkar Hindutva? Savarkar was not against different versions of Hindutva. Savarkar not was against the Sangha's Hindutva, Vivekananda's Hindutva, philosophical, spiritual Hindutva. He was saying that these Hindutva do not have any political dimension. So I want to add this political dimension. I want to aware about his political power of the Hindutva, Hindu rights, and Hindus do not have they are very ignorant about their political injustice due to them by the Muslim leagues and even the some Hindus of the Congress. So it is simple words. Savarkar's philosophy, Savarkar's Hindutva will exist as long as Hindus were oppressed due to their Hindu identity. As long as operation this aggression will stop, this aggression will stop, then there is no need of Hindutva. Then we will all become the human. We will all become the universal brotherhood. And the same philosophy is put forth in our Vedic philosophy also. In Vedas, Savarkar is saying that in Vedas we consider human and stone as the same, and we have our dreams that at the same time Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, as we have our famous philosophy, at the same time we will achieve this universal brotherhood. Then so whole earth will become one nation, other nation will be moon or maybe a Mars. But this dream, that dream not yet achieved. So till that time, I have to follow my Hindutva. I have to do my Hindu Sangathan. And you can say Savarkar's Hindu Rashtra is similar to the today's Bharat Indian Constitution. There is no difference in constitution, laws, order, and there is no difference because Veer Savarkar, Hindu Mahasabha's some followers like Munje, Bhopatkar, then D.V. Gokhale, they have formed one committee and they have wrote one small booklet around 70 to 80 pages, which is known as a Free Hindustan State. It may be considered as it was compiled in 1944. and they have said that it is a maybe our vision after the what is the what will be the constitution of the India after the independence. And all the political party, including Congress, leftists, communists, they have also compiled their as per their own philosophy, their own understanding. They have put for they have compiled, wrote their booklet. What will be the India's constitution after the independence? So Hindu Mahasabhas, this constitution, or you can say prarup of this India's future India's constitution was uh, supported by the Congress MLA N.V. Gadgil, and he during the constitutional debates he said that Hindu Mahasabhas this free state of Hindustan constitution prarup is very good, and they have put forth very good philosophy. So as per this Savarkar's uh, Hindu Rashtra philosophy, Hindus don't have any upper right in Hindu Rashtra. Name is only Hindu Rashtra, but the label is Hindu Rashtra. But inner material is same as today's India's Republic Democratic Bharat. So why Savarkar was saying Hindu Rashtra, Hindu Rashtra? Savarkar is saying that at that time, some non-Hindus and Hindus also were saying that Hindu could not form their nation. They do not have any eligibility to form their own nation. So to uh, to counter this narrative, so I have to establish my own narrative. So that's why I put forth this slogan, Hindu Rashtra. Hindutva he's Rashtriyatva. I put for this slogan. That this is the only reason, but the you can say all the principles in all the rules regulation in that constitutional prarup, they said that you should have you can have your freedom of speech, freedom of religion. All Hindus should get equal rights. They do not they will not get any kind of special privileges. We will give the donations to Vedic Patshala also, non-Hindu religious like religious institution like madrasa, masjid, church, synagogue. We will give donations to all religious institution. They do have rights to form their own education institute also, but the only criteria, only condition is that they should not teach any hatred uh, against any other religions. So they should teach the equality, humanity, universal brotherhood kind of things. So this is a Savarkar's Hindutva, which is I will say as a it is a secular, democratic, and humanitarian Hindutva, and it is a step to achieve our Hindu philosophy, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Our philosophy is universal brotherhood. So it is only a step. Other step is, of course, universal brotherhood, and you can say importance or any speciality of Savarkar's Hindutva. This is a socio-political concept. Savarkar himself is saying in Hindutva book is that this is a concept of socio-political, or you can say it's a Hindu polity. That's it. Savarkar, okay with your spiritual, your religious belief, your spiritual beliefs, your customs. Savarkar don't have any kind of objection about your own beliefs and customs and all that. Savarkar was saying that while uh, during the election, this is now election period in India, so your duty is to go out your home and give your important vote to the uh, perfect and eligible candidate. This is your duty, and by voting to the uh, ideal person, ideal candidate, you can do satta parivartan in any nation, and you can have your own majority party. Of course, it is a completely democratic party. So you have a very strong weapon in your hand, and this weapon is now known as a democratic weapon. This is known as your voting right. So you should go out and you should vote to the perfect candidate. So this is you can say Savarkar's political Hindutva. Or one last sentence to before I put some of the session. If a person is very is very good in Vedic mantras. He read all the Upanishads, Veda, Bhagavad Gita, Smruti, Shruti, Purana. He is completely a dharmic Hindu. But during the election or during the voting season, if he is not going outside his home and he is not voting to a right person, then there is no use of your scholar in your Hindu dharmic scriptures. But even if you are not okay, or you are not a scholar of Hindu religion or by the Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, but you are voting to a right person at a right time to achieve your political aim, then as per the Savarkar's Hindutva, that Hindu is very important, because even though he is not well versed in your Hindu scripture, but he knows the how to achieve my Hindutva. So the Hindu dharma is different. Hindutva is different. It is not opposite. It is a Hindu dharma is a Hindutva's part of is Hindu dharma. Hindu dharma is a part of Hindutva. Hindutva is a very broad concept and is part of Hindu dharma. So you should go out and vote for a right candidate. This is known as a Veer Savarkar's Hindutva.
Thank you so much, Akshay ji. Savarkar was a huge rationalist, based on always had his conclusions based on facts and figures. Never was very emotional about anything. Fantastic lecture. We have a few questions for you. I will ask, there is one, Amit Upadhyay ji, you would like to go ahead. Amit ji, you want to go ahead first?
Yeah, one thing I just want to ask is in terms of Hindutva has been also labeled as extreme right-winger philosophy. I don't know, like, and thanks for all your lecture. It really becomes clear that it is not so. So is that something like a part of history that Hindutva was labeled as a extreme right-winger philosophy?
They label as a extremist philosophy due to the Gandhi murder, due to the Nathuram Godse's cruel act. So that is the main reason their opponents were labeled Hindutva as a Hindu. But Veer Savarkar's Hindutva and Veer Savarkar's true followers were, was, is, and will be, and should be, you can say, should not be agree with the act of the Nathuram Godse. They should be against such kind of, you can say, philosophy. This extremist philosophy is not acceptable in Hindutva. So the Savarkar's Hindutva is not agree with the act of Nathuram Godse. Savarkar, even when he was alive, he continuously till his death, he condemned Nathuram's act, and he never supported such kind of act. He was completely against of political murder of any Swadeshi people, Indian people. And even they are British, Savarkar saying that we are not against British, we are against the cruel British. So Savarkar do have the British friends like Guy Added and David Garnett. So Savarkar was completely against Nathuram Godse and Nathuram Godse's this extremist philosophy. And due to the act of this Nathuram Godse, because Nathuram Godse was a member of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha also, and he left then Sangha, but after that he joined Hindu Mahasabha, and again he was not happy with the Savarkar and Savarkar's philosophy. He formed his own separate wing. I think Hindu Dal, so something Hindu, something kind of that. So he was at that time also he was not happy with the Savarkar's he was saying that Savarkar was a pacifist, even though he is a Hindu, but he was a pacifist, and Nathuram was an extremist. So I think that is a big problem, and that is they put for the stamp. Opponents are continuously stamping our that you are Manuvadi, you want to murder, assassinate all your political opponents. But that's not a true our philosophy. Even though Nathuram Godse was a member of Hindu Mahasabha, but he was not a Hindutvadi as per Savarkar. So I think your statement is true, but reason is Nathuram Godse's act, and we all Hindutvaadis should condemn this act, and we should support Savarkar's philosophy. And Savarkar was not a hater of Mahatma Gandhi. He was only a political opponent of Mahatma Gandhi. So that is the, you can say, a simple difference.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I think we have some questions in comment box. Yes, there is one question is, does the constitution of Hindu Rashtra is democratic? Is it based on Manusmriti? Is it based on Varna system? And Prajwal Borse. No, Veer Savarkar's Hindu Rashtra is not based on Manusmriti, not based on any Shruti, Smruti, Puranokta, not based on Varna system, not based on Vedic religion, Vedic philosophy, not based on Upanishad, not based on Bhagavad Gita. Savarkar's Hindutva is not based on Hindu belief or Hindu customs. Savarkar philosophy is based on rational, scientific temper, rational, democratic, utilitarian principles. Savarkar used only a word Hindu to Hindu because Hindus are in majority in India. That is the only reason. If you want to go into detail, you can read the Savarkar's two famous Marathi book, Vigyani Nishtha Nibandha, and other book is Jatyuchedak Nibandha, or you can read his Vigyan or scientific temper of Vigyan Nishtha thoughts. In if you are okay with Marathi, then you can read the Sheshrao More's two books on Veer Savarkar. वीर सावरकरांचा बुद्धिवाद and सावरकरांचा समाज क्रांतीचे अंतरंग. These are two books. I also wrote one book on Veer Savarkar as a social revolutionary, and in Dhananjay Keys, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar biography, Dhananjay Keys had quoted that so what is the difference between social reformer and social revolutionary? Social reformer, if you consider any building, then if you consider any old building, old structure of the building, then social reformer will do only a renovation of that to that old building. He is considered as a renovation considered as a social reformer. But the social revolutionary will dismantle old structure, old building from his base, from his roots. And so Savarkar, Dhananjay Keys were saying that Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Mahatma Phule, and Swatantraveer Savarkar are not social reformer. They are social revolutionary because these three people want to form new nation, new Hindu community based on the rational and scientific temper, democratic principles, and they want to base their nation on this same principle. So the Savarkar philosophy do not have any relation with the Hindu dharmic philosophy. So the Hindu dharmic philosophy, so the Hindutvavadi Savarkar's Hindu Rashtra is not based on Hindutva dharma philosophy. Of course, he took some good thoughts from the Hindu philosophy, like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, all man should be equal. He took their philosophy from Vedic or Bhagavad Gita, but he was not saying that we should form our nation based on Bhagavad Gita or Vedic. He is saying that we should form our nation, we should be up to date Hindus and all the Indians should be up to date, and we should best there is famous interview taken by the Srikant Telkar of the organizer newspaper in November 1965. It was a last interview of the Veer Savarkar, and so Srikant reporter had asked that, what is your dream of the Hindu nation, Hindu Rashtra? So Savarkar saying that it should be based on equality, humanity, utilitarian philosophy, and means you can say samata, samanata, and samarasta in famous our Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha's language. So Savarkar's Hindu Rashtra, even at the till his before his death, he was saying that my Hindu Rashtra should be a democratic. And I think this Savarkar interview is available on organizer website because it was published by organizer last year on 28 May. So you can read his complete interview. It is around 2 pages of interview, and you will find what is the dream or what is Savarkar Hindu Rashtra.
Very good, Akshayji. So, just gonna have some people unmute. Arjunji, please go ahead. Please keep the question short, and if you can appreciate the answer to short too. We are running out of time.
Definitely. Thank you, Akshay Jog ji, for the excellent distinct session on Veer Savarkar's Hindutva. When you talked about Godse, I just had a question about him. We have so much, I mean, I don't know the details, but we have heard so much about what Gandhi has done to like give extra rights to the Muslims, as we were talking about. And again, his hand in probably in the Mopla massacre and all of that. Therefore, many would argue that Gandhi was very detrimental to the security, social security of Hindus. Therefore, even if killing Gandhi was wrong, what is your view on what should have been done with Gandhi, or whether Gandhi was completely right? Was he a Mahatma or was he not?
No, Gandhi was, you can say, he was a Mahatma. Savarkar himself, while talking in your with anybody in any his close friend, he was always called Gandhi as a Mahatma. He never said Mohandas or Gandhi kind of. He always saying that Mahatma. Even for Nehru, he used the word Panditji. So you have some special honor, special other for Mahatma Gandhi, because he is saying that he was a great leader, mass leader. Due to his leadership, lots of village people, grassroots people, women were connected with India's freedom struggle. He also supported his salt satyagraha, Mita satyagraha. He's also supported his Harijan work, even though Savarkar is not okay with his all social thoughts of Mahatma Gandhi, because Mahatma Gandhi is a supporter of the Varna Vyavastha, Chatur Varna Vyavastha, and Savarkar was completely against the Chatur Varna Vyavastha. Or in politics, Savarkar was, of course, is against the Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of the appeasement policy of the minority. And Savarkar is saying that it is completely wrong. You should not appease any minority. You should not appease even majority also. You should give equal rights to all the citizens. And your philosophy is very detrimental to the not only to Hindus but also to our nation, also our independent republic nation also. But solution is not assassination. Solution is mata parivartan, prabodhan. This is a solution. That is the only solution. You should not took any weapon in your hand, and you should not kill any person. Because in 1952, Savarkar has closed his Abhinav Bharat Sanstha, and he used a 3 days famous speech. And he's on third day, he was saying that now you should give up your armed revolutionary attitude, and you should now accept the non-violence attitude. revolutionary armed struggle, Sashastra Kranti attitude is okay when you are in Paratantra. But now we are become independent nation, and you should not take any weapon in your hand. If you have any problem, if you have any, if you oppose, if you want to oppose any decision of your own government, of course you have a right to oppose, but this oppose should be a non-violent. It should be a non-violent satyagraha, non-violent movement, or you can go into your court. You can put for the writ petition also. You can have some have a mass movement like we have in the 10 years ago against the corruption like Anna Hazare. But you should not take arm in your hand. And if you take arm in your hand, then again there is a chances of again we will go into the Paratantra. And you can say Nakshalis and you will become same. At that time there is not any Nakshali movement exists at that time. But you can say now the Nakshalis are taking the weapons in your hand. So there is no difference between the person who is taking a weapon in your hand if he is not okay with any government decision. And so he is same as good as Nakshal. So if you want to oppose, if you want to not okay with any government decision, you can oppose bit non-violently. So the armed revolutionary leader Swatantra Veer Savarkar is saying that you should give up your armed weaponry attitude and you should accept now the non-violent democratic attitude. So that is the importance of the Veer Savarkar. He want when you want to switch on your attitude and when you have to switch off your attitude, and this importance is very speciality of the Veer Savarkar's leadership. And that's why the Savarkar is very difficult to understand. So that's why I had done 10 years of research, and then after 10 years, I have wrote the book and I have give up to some lectures because Savarkar's language, even Marathi and English, and the Swatantra Savarkar's Hindutva book is original. He has written in book in English. Savarkar's English is extremely difficult to understand. Marathi is also difficult to understand. So that's why Savarkar's ideology and philosophy is difficult to understand. And he uses the word very particularly. And I think that is the reason because the Veer Savarkar was misquoted, misrepresented, and interpreted by his opponents also and his followers also.
Excellent, Akshayji. Sunil Kumar, please go ahead.
Akshay ji, my question is, if Savarkar ji was alive today, would he have approved of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple Pran Pratishtha, and like Sitaram Goel ji, who is famous for writing a book on Hindu temples, and Conrad Elst and
Voice of India,
that section. So would he have been in agreement with them? Would he have approved of the drive to reclaim Hindu temples like the Kashi Vishwanath temple? And
of course.
Secondly, how
Sorry, Sunil ji, we got
historically-
it. So let Akshay ji respond.
just let me conclude, sir. My second question is how historically accurate is the recent movie on Savarkar? What is your opinion?
Recent movies on Savarkar is accurate historically. There is also do have some 2-3 flaws in movie, but you can say it is very minor, very minor historical flaws, not a major like we have major flaws and major errors in Bajirao Mastani kind of film. They do have some historical, some errors, some historical, some mistakes, but I think only 2-3. That is minor, and you can say it is a very good. Historically, is very good, and especially you can say how the biopic should be commercially and to connect with the youngsters. So as per this angle, this is a very good movie. And your first question is, yes, Savarkar was if he was alive, he will support the Ram Janmabhoomi temple movement, because it was a symbol of the oppression, oppressive of that Mughal regime, and now we have reclaimed our Ram Janmabhoomi, and this is not a movement of the Ram temple. We have lots of temple. This is not a movement of the Ram Mandir, Ram temple. This is a movement of the Ram birthplace. Ram birthplace should be only one in all over India. So this is the movement of the Rama Janmabhoomi. So that's why Savarkar will completely agree, and even he today he will also participate as a karyakarta in movement also, and it is agreement with his Savarkar's philosophy.
Thank you, Akshay ji. Vivek ji, please go ahead.
Namaste, Akshay ji. As
Yes.
according to you, that the today's constitution is very similar to the constitution which is led by the Veer Savarkar. But in today's constitution, there is special rights given to the Muslim Personal Law Board. So I don't think so that is absolutely same. So in what condition you can say that the can we go for the Veer Savarkar constitution, any kind of the implementation, or this or the country can rely on the ideas of the Veer Savarkar? Because after the Modi and Yogi, what kind of the India you want that we should install the mechanism, the regime of Veer Savarkar ideology? If there is any root of that for that, what is your light on that?
Muslim board or any kind, they don't have any special right regarding to Hindus. They deal with their own Muslim community. They have rights to deal with their community only. But they don't have any kind of special right to deal with the Hindu community or non-Muslims. Yeah, I agree that work board rights are not good, but the work board rights are given by the Congress during the 1990-2000 decade. It was not in Indian Constitution in 1950. It was inserted in 1995, 96 something at that time. So it is not a it is a newly addition to the Constitution during 1992-2000 decade. And of course, I think in Modi 3, we expect to think about this work board rights. And I think there is two father and son, I think Jain, Hari Shankar Jain or something, Harshavardhan Jain, I think that two lawyers are fighting to close this work board. And I think we are expecting to that in Modi 3, the BJP will think over this Jain father and son fighting for their cause, and to restrict the rights of that work board. But other thing, Muslims or any community, even Hindu community, don't have any special rights. They have rights to deal with their own community. They don't have rights to deal with the other community. So they don't have any rights.
Thank
Of
you,
course,
Akshay. Akshay ji,
in the
thank
scope
you.
of improvement, you can improve you, but we are heading towards it.
Thank you, Akshay. One last question from Dipankar ji. Please go ahead.
Namaste, Akshay ji. My question is, how would Veer Savarkar's principles do they collide with Netaji Subhash's principles?
Savarkar's and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose principle are same only with the revolutionary activity. But while the Hindutva philosophy, Hindutva ideology, they are standing on two separate and opposite poles. Netaji Subhash Chandra was not a Hindutvadi. He was a pure Congress person like Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, and so I think Savarkar is saying that we can agree to disagree. I am okay. I'm supporting your revolutionary attitude and revolutionary activity. And that's why Savarkar is saying that, told to the Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose that you should go outside India and to support and to take on over the Indian Independence League from the Ras Bihari Bose, and then he founded Netaji Indian National INA. I think your main motive is to become an independent nation. So you should go outside India and you should fight you should do your movement, your fight outside India with the revolutionary movement. So he is okay with his agree with his. They both were agree with the revolutionary activity, but political philosophy or Hindutva philosophy, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose philosophy was same as the Congress philosophy. Savarkar philosophy is completely opposite. So you can say a Hindutva philosophy. So politically they were opposite, but revolutionary activity regarding they were at the same path.
Great answer. Great presentation. Lots of information, Akshayji. A lot of things, at least I didn't know. Fantastic, timely presentation, and hopefully people can go and buy and read your books. And please visit us again when you have more presentations to do. Thank you all for joining. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you for opportunity. Thank you very much.